What is going on, guys? Andrew Cameron with Local Angler. We've got a fishing report coming in from our Suncoast region, South Suncoast region. Wes Wildman, Captain Wes Wildman with Wildman Adventures. Wes, how are you doing today, man?
Very good, Andrew. I appreciate you having me on again. Thanks, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Appreciate you joining in. So tell me a little bit about what's been going on in your area, what you've seen the last week, what you're kind of anticipating moving forward into the month of July.
So the fishing's staying steady. We are definitely in the middle of our bait spawns, so we're getting a lot of that hatch bait, that really small bait, coming around. So, my only thing is you better break out those, 1/4 inch, 3/16 inch nets right now, man, because you throw a 3/8, you're gonna you're gonna have Christmas in July. You know what I mean? So, and you're
Oh,
not gonna like cleaning that out, but.
yeah.
Yeah, that larger bait, it's starting to get tougher to find. The smaller stuff, there's a lot of it around, a lot of small stuff around. I noticed after this moon we just had last week that, a lot of the mangrove snapper are starting to push into shore. And that usually happens, fry bait shows up, the snappers seem to follow it in, they
Yeah.
start getting on the trees or, even heavier on the rock piles and stuff. So for me, that's when I get that smaller bait, that's what I start targeting more. I can,
Okay.
go get a couple limits of snapper, and then some of that larger bait that I'm not getting a ton of, I'll finish out the day on some nice snook, and there's some redfish around. Definitely starting to cut bait them more. Instead of throwing those big pilchards at them. But
Right.
definitely seen some redfish action. A lot of jacks around. Jack Cavels, which to me, I mean, I know you can't keep them or anything, but if they're not one of the hardest fighting fish in the bay, I mean, they have to be, man. They're like seriously one of the toughest fish out there for sure.
I
That's
love,
interesting.
yeah, I love targeting jacks in the sense of I know I'm going to get a quality fight when I hook one
Yeah,
up. The biggest one I've caught, it's probably been pushing 10 pounds, which isn't big for jacks, especially crevalle. But I mean, at the same time, it's a quality. I mean, that's like to me, it's like battling a 20-pound snook.
yeah. No, I mean, 10-pound jacks. If you get into a school of 10-pound jacks, I'm telling you, like the other day, I got the new Shimano Spheros reels. They're super light. I've been beating up big redfish and some big snook with them. I
Nice.
got into a school of these 10-pound jacks, like you're saying, and I mean they completely wore us out. We got spooled by a couple of them. I was like in shock. I couldn't turn the drag up high enough, man. They were going nuts. But
Oh man,
um,
no. Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. What are your plans moving into the summer?
steady. Like honestly, right now it seems so weird. We got a lot of heavy winds around. Like usually this time of the year, I can sneak off, near shore a little bit,
Mhm.
get into some grouper and snapper, some flounder starting to push close. But we've had so much wind around. Like, I mean, you get in a huge south swell. So like you get 2 or 3 miles off the beach and it is rough. And it doesn't seem like it's rough in the bay, but I mean, I've just been sticking really close. And I mean, if this wind keeps up, I'm gonna be staying inside the bay. So, snook, redfish, trout, and the snapper. I mean, this time of the year, the snapper is the is key. For especially for people that want to eat. If we're game fishing, snook and redfish all day, but getting some gags. I can't wait. I can't wait for October. That gag fishing is going to get really good. The gag grouper will start showing up.
Oh,
You
heck,
control them, live bait them. So,
nice,
but
nice.
yeah.
So you mentioned the baits downsizing. If I were to come over and throw artificial, what would be what? I guess what would you throw if you were going to throw artificial right now?
I mean, I still think if you were, doing like smaller grubs on a super light jig head, I mean, you
Yeah,
don't want to be fishing the bottom. I mean, like sticking it on the bottom, but something just small grubs,
little curl tails type
yeah, a
deal.
little curl tail, especially for the trout. I mean, there's so many trout around. It's incredible. Like they opened this trout season, and I mean, I've been getting, whacking a few heads on them, but there's so many trout around, and I mean, there's some big ones. So like definitely little like white tails on the jig head, or, like maybe even behind a popping bobber. I mean, I've been noticing as this bait gets smaller, I'll start using more popping bobbers just so I can get further cast with it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if you got a popping bobber with like a gulp shrimp or something, I mean, you're gonna, you can definitely get the trout to go. In the trees, I would say like for those redfish, just like, I would imagine it first thing in the morning, top water would be great for them. Or like dead stick in those stick baits that I know Bass Assassin's got a few.
Like Twitch
Just
or yeah.
yeah. I mean, to me, they almost like went from my bass days. They look like a Cinco. I can't remember the name of
Okay,
them,
the fat
but
job. Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Fat job. Yeah.
But yeah, like dead sticking those around the trees. I mean, I would
Really?
imagine that would be a good thing. Yeah, because I'm catching my redfish on like cut bait. So whether it's mullet or
Okay.
pinfish or cut threadfin, just dead sticking because they're just kind of like cruising around the trees right now. I mean, you're not like finding them where they're going to be like stacked in a pile. Like you're sitting
Awesome.
there waiting.
If you were to take a fat job, Bass Assassin also has saltwater bang, which is a fish attractant.
Yeah.
Okay. And they've got various saltwater scents. I mean, that to me would be ideal if you want a dead stick. Spread a little bit of that on there and let it soak in for a second, and then get your cast in.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like any of that scent stuff, because I mean that's what it seems like to me. They're coming to is like the sin of the bait. It's sticking underneath the tree, and it's just you give it a few minutes, and you're getting a bite. So
very cool, man. No, Wes, I appreciate your time, man. I would advise you to take a few minutes on that couch and relax a little bit, because I know you're always up and just nonstop. So
it's been crazy, man. I mean, I'm honestly I'm loving it, but like I'm about to go outside and do a bunch of maintenance that I'm past due on. I had a tire go out on me last night on the way home. My jack, I went to lift up put the jack up on the trailer because it's been hooked to the boat so much. It's out. So I'm in the middle of about to just, do a lot of maintenance this afternoon and probably a little bit tomorrow. So it's good though, man.
Cool deal, man. Cool deal.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're heading out to the Anna Maria Island area, look up Captain Wes Wildman, wildmansadventures.com. There is an S on Wildman's, and we will catch you next time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.